What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Just want to let you guys know very briefly that I do know that the Blitz battle was happening over the last couple of days. However, I haven't been 100%, so I haven't been able to bring you guys a video in regards to that, which I do apologize. But hopefully you guys did really well on your Blitz battle. I didn't actually grind all that much, and I know a lot of people out there actually didn't do a lot of grinding on it either. So, look, it is what it is. But today, this video is just talking about the new Pirate Rumble event. There's a new single match where you can take on the new Rumble Rare Recruits, which is Anne and Douglas Bullet. And these two characters, I mean, I haven't had a chance to really make a video on them either, but these two characters, they're really, like, just okay. But in this challenge difficulty where they've, like, got a lot of statistics and a lot of legends on their team, specifically Anne is the most annoying character, like, because, yeah, like, you can bring a lot of defensive stuff to block damage, which is what Bullet is focused on doing. Bullet does a lot of damage, specifically when it's the last 50 seconds of the game. But Anne is so frustrating because she just heals them for such a huge amount, especially because they've got Monkey D. Luffy on the bench. That Luffy character coming off the bench, which obviously when he does come online, he enables the enemies to tank like a revival hit, which is annoying. And then if Luffy is at low HP, he can fully charge a character special. And there were times in testing different teams where, you know, Anne would launch the special, Luffy would launch a special, fully charge Anne, and then Anne would launch again to give you give the enemies like so much healing. And it's just so frustrating because decks are probably one of the most, if not the most, defensive typing in Rumble in Treasure Cruise, and having healing components added on top of it is just very, very frustrating. This is the first team that I tried, and it worked with no changes whatsoever. This is the exact same team that I made a showcase video on not long ago with the brand new Shanks. I actually don't know if I've made that video public yet or not. I hope I have, because it is sitting on my channel that I need to make public for you guys, showcasing what this Shanks is capable of doing. He's a really, really good character, and you can kind of like, you know, compare him to like V2 Odin, where if you have a character like Odin on your team, which does really good damage, and then you have like Shanks, which is like a new version of Odin, and he also has the potential to hit all characters as well once it's in the last 50 seconds of a game. Sai's just a really solid color, works well against most teams, and it works very, very well here once again. Moving on to the secondary team I wanted to try out. This is the second team I tried. You know, the first one is that side team, which you guys just watched. This is the second team I tried with no changes as well. This is the exact same team that I made for the showcase video with Monkey D. Luffy. And, dude, this character is so good. Strength teams are pretty solid. You know, strength versus Dex, you know, it's always been pretty favorable for the strength typing because Dex is a very slow team. Usually takes them quite a while to launch their specials. And because strength isn't the most defensively focused typing, it doesn't really matter that they don't have the best defenses, because if you can kill them before they launch the special, that's all that really matters. And you know, you got Kaido, which has the potential to do damage through defense, Kid, damage through defense, Luffy, damage through defense, Jack, health cuts, which then helps your damage through defenses potentially get knockouts, and then we've got the waifus, which can also provide confusion, preventing the enemy from launching their specials. And we get very lucky here. We use the waifu special and we confuse all characters. Like, that just doesn't happen. So we got a little bit lucky in terms of the RNG, in terms of where specials were launched and how lucky we got with additional effects, but across the board, very solid team. Not really too many threatening issues on my opponent's side of the field here. If you have a strength-focused team with characters that do damage through defense, characters even like Rumble Legend Kuma, if you have him, another solid option that you could also use. Very, very solid. No issues whatsoever versus this brand new Dex team. Moving on to the third team here. Now, this team actually took me quite a while to figure out because originally I wanted to use my normal team, which was going to be with Otama on the team instead of Odin. And I tried that and I just didn't have enough damage because, you know, Zoro doesn't do damage. He really requires the enemy to hit him to do damage. Nami Karina is a great asset. I really wanted to keep using them. and I also got Sanji as well. I ended up switching Nami Karina out for Odin, whilst also having Otama on the team. Still didn't have enough damage, so I ended up opting to drop Otama because she doesn't do any damage anyway. Dropped her for having Odin on the team, so running a 5-legend mainline team. And once I did that, we were finally able to get the knockout. Now, I know that you could definitely use someone like Gear 5 Luffy instead of Luffy Yamato, but I wanted to try something different because, you know, I'd already tried Gear 5 Luffy on the side team, so I did want to try something different here. Even though I am using Odin once again, you know, we are just having a damage dealer instead of, like, you didn't have to use Odin specifically, but any massive free spirit damage dealer instead of Odin would probably get the job done as well here. But I've talked about it extensively in my Grand Party videos, but the combination of Nami Karina and also the Zoro is so good. As Zoro, we already know what he does. You know, he applies lots of buffs and for your crew, and specifically Zoro himself, and the provoking effect is really good too, whilst also inflicting counter. So anytime he gets hit, then he inflicts damage to the opponent, and especially late game, that counter is very good. But it partners so well with Nami Karina because Nami Karina can reverse the special CT of characters, making their specials, their would-be specials, become normal attacks. And because, you know, Zoro has the provoke effect, they have to target Zoro. So the combination of Nami Karina and Zoro is so good for free spirit. You got Sanji, which can continuously charge your character specials, which we want Nami and Karina to launch as much as they possibly can. And then you, of course, have Luffy Yamato, which can do crazy damage once it is in that final 50-second period of the game. But of course, that is also replaceable with someone like 6+ Gear 5 Luffy. That is another really solid option that you can use. And then Odin is just another really big damage dealer, and then we just chucked in Rumble King on the bench, because if you're going to have a Rumble Rare Recruit on the bench, King is a pretty good character to have there. But luckily for us, it never even came down to that. King was able to just sit there on the bench and do nothing, whilst the mainline characters were able to continuously apply pressure over and over again, ensuring that they don't launch their specials, providing normal attacks so Zoro can counter them, and then we get our victory in that manner. So I'll leave you guys with this clip, and we'll pick things up at the final team of the video. Moving on to the final team of the video is going to be my slasher team. Now, I have not used slashers in a very long time. I ended up making a little bit of a different team. So Zoro on this team was not here originally. I ended up using Pell on the front line and then just running a bunch of Rumble Rare Recruits on the bench. But I actually didn't have enough damage, surprisingly. I just needed a way to output more damage against the opponent because Dex is a very defensive type, as we've talked about. Luffy on the bench coming in, basically giving them like an extra character. So even though it says that you have to kill 8 characters, you basically have to kill 9 characters. It's super annoying. And if you get really unlucky and the opponent's Ann launches very frequently, then that could also spell trouble. So I ended up putting Zoro on the team because he can also apply relatively decent pressure with his attack, but then he also will deal 1.5 times his attack in damage through defense. So it's just a really nice way to apply more damage to the opponent. And I mean, you know, there were a couple other slashers I was considering, like maybe another health cutting slasher would have been a really good option too, just to make sure that some of our other characters could actually, you know, potentially get more knockouts. But Zoro just felt like a really good option. You know, he actually got relatively buffed recently. You know, K-Dad on this team also got buffed a couple months back. Zoro got buffed alongside him. And then, of course, we've got Shanks' crew because they're just a really nice character for providing good defensive effects. You know, like, on this team specifically, basically, Shanks' crew is like the only character giving us defensive buffs on this team. The rest of the characters are mainly focused on offense, so it's kind of crazy that Shanks' crew by himself can just provide so much defensive capabilities for this crew. But then again, you do have to remember that Dex isn't the best offensive type out there, unless if they're specifically going against other quick teams. But surprisingly, this team did work pretty well. We were able to tank all of the enemy's hits pretty comfortably, actually. If I remember correctly, I think K-Dad actually does get knocked out on this team, putting Pell onto the front line. But even though that does happen, it still enables us to get the victory, which is really awesome. You see that the opponent's Luffy was able to fully charge Bullet right after he launched. He launched again, applying lots more damage, knocking out K-Dad. So at this point I was thinking that we were probably going to lose. Luckily our characters were able to stay alive just towards the end here to eke out a victory. But that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
おっしゃ